Speaking of which, by the way, speaking of Elon, California is suing Elon Musk Tesla, alleging it runs a racially segregated workplace and discriminates against black employees. Black workers report being concentrated in parts of its factory, one called the plantation, by other workers and hearing slurs up to 100 times daily. Tesla has faced multiple discrimination lawsuits in recent years, including in 2021, ordered to pay $137 million to a black man who reported racist harassment. Fucking dope, by the way. 6 women suing for sexual harassment, and a black woman who's also suing over rampant racism conditions like Jim Crow era. That comes to about 13 slurs an hour.
Left again.
I mean, dude, listen, boys. I mean, he's South African, you know. What are you gonna fucking? You want a South African emerald miner to not be racist? Like, come on, dude. You know that's fucked up. That's heritage, brother. You're gonna really, wow. You want everybody to fucking represent their culture and love it and celebrate it in America. We say it's a melting pot, but when Elon Musk wants to do like apartheid conditions at his factory, all of a sudden we got a problem. Oh no, apartheid, too much. I see. That's fucked up. That's his culture. Do your thing. Twitter, do your thing.
Like Rogan, he's a target of the left because he refuses to abide by the strictures of political correctness. He says, for example, that capitalism is good and that his company, its growth is good, and that Elizabeth Warren is an idiot, right? He says all of these things publicly. And so it was only a matter of time before the media tried to find an employee to accuse the company of racism, and now this is what they have done. According to the Daily Beast.
Dude, knowing like Elon Musk's past behavior, this fucking Neuralink is going to be like a brain Fitbit. Okay? It's going to be like basically a Fitbit that you put in your brain. It's not going to do shit. Okay? And it's going to be totally unreasonable to even put it in your brain. It's going to kill a bunch of people if that ever even comes to fruition. Okay?
Last week, former Tesla employee Kaylin Barker filed a lawsuit against the electric car maker for allegedly disregarding her complaints of racial discrimination, saying that being black worker at Tesla's renowned California factory is to be forced to step back in time and suffer painful abuses reminiscent of the Jim Crow era. Okay, so first of all, that ain't true, and I'll tell you why that ain't true, because in the Jim Crow era, you wouldn't have been working at the Tesla factory. It is hilarious to me.
Yeah, dude. Famously, black people were not allowed to work during the Jim Crow era. Do you guys know that? That's famously Ben Shapiro, once again, doing incredible commentary. He's so smart. Yeah. Guess what, libtard? There were no Tesla factories during the Jim Crow era. I win. Like, okay. I mean, but like, you know, black people were still working in the Jim Crow era. I don't know if you know that.
Now, people don't seem to understand what Jim Crow was in the first place. The 25-year-old, who is black and gay, claims a white coworker at the company's Lathrop plant called her the N-word and assaulted her with a hot grinding tool. After Barker complained to Human Resources.
My favorite part about Ben Shapiro's argument is that, like, racism is not structural. It's not systemic. There's no such thing as systemic racism. Racism is only conducted by individuals. Point me to an individual that's being racist, and I'll fight back against them alongside you, because I hate racism. But then when there is an individual instance of racism, he goes, that's not real. That's actually good, by the way. So what's up? Like, so even if all racism is individually done, even when individuals are being racist, then they're not actually racist, so there's just no racism. Got it.
Tesla allegedly retaliated by withholding her wages. I do not believe this. I straight up don't believe this. The reason I don't believe this is because if someone assaults you with a hot grinding tool, you know what you do? You go to the cops. You don't go to HR. You go to the cops. If someone assaults you with a hot grinding tool, if someone calls you the N-word, you think any HR department in America doesn't fire that person and do a full investigation?
Wait, what? No, what? Bro, what the fuck is Ben Shapiro talking about, dude? Debate me on racism, you puss. You look like a cross between a cowboy and a Turk. I love it as a Romanian. Least racist Romanian man wants to debate me on racism.
Any HR department in America. This is literally their job. And Tesla is a company worth billions and billions and billions. It's
like the entire purpose of HR is to shut people the fuck up. What does he think HR does? The HR department's sole purpose is to shut people the fuck up when they complain. That's it. There's no like, oh yeah, we're going to conduct an investigation and fire this person. Like, okay. Also, like, Elon already lost the fucking lawsuit. Like, Tesla already lost a lawsuit about racial discrimination.
The most valuable car maker on planet Earth. You think their HR department is going to blow off a claim that someone called you the N-word at work? Are you kidding me? I don't believe this for half a second. Barker's civil suit is one of multiple cases in recent months to paint a disturbing picture of a hostile work environment for women and people of color at the clean energy giants' factories. And it comes a mere 4 months after the jury awarded another former employee, Owen Diaz, nearly $137 million over racism he encountered in the workplace, which included coworkers hurling racial epithets and telling him to go back to Africa. Now Tesla is facing a civil rights complaint from California regulators over employees' accusations of pervasive racial discrimination. Last month, the California Department of Fair Housing and Employment issued a notice of cause finding and mandatory dispute resolution following an investigation into undisclosed allegations of race discrimination and harassment at unspecified Tesla locations. So, question. This notice of cause finding and mandatory dispute resolution includes, just to get this straight, undisclosed allegations of race discrimination. So, they've not been disclosed. We have no idea what the allegations are. At an unspecified Tesla location. So, what we now know is something bad allegedly happened at a time in a place. We don't know what the thing is, where it happened, or when. Let's open a government investigation. The agency gave notice that based upon the evidence collected, it believes it has grounds to file a civil complaint against Tesla. As for Diaz's multi-million-dollar case, Tesla's report said the company does not believe the facts and law justify the verdict and that it has requested a retrial or reduction in the jury's award. Tesla's report also noted it received an SEC subpoena last November requesting information on how billionaire CEO Elon Musk was complying with a 2018 settlement with the securities watchdog that required his tweets to be vetted by a company lawyer. So
wait, why is he mad about that stuff? Like that shit, he's also literally fucking paid. Like Kimball is, I'm pretty sure Kimball had to pay fines to the SEC before for unironically fucking, you know, stock price manipulation or suspicious activity, like suspicious trading activity. And same with Elon too. Well, by the way, this is for Elon. This is for Elon. Like, no, Elon Musk. The reason why this exists, the reason why this restriction exists, is because he has a profound amount of influence, and he can do stock manipulation by tweeting. Like he can just do that. He's the key man. So, all right.
Now have the government cracking down on Elon Musk's tweets. Yes, clearly this is not a power game. This is really just about preventing racial discrimination. It's not a power game in which you find a company you don't like and then you target it with racial discrimination. And then the media whips everybody into a frenzy. And then government regulators of the left decide to come in and crack down on the company.
Can you stop talking about socks? You don't understand it. I don't have to understand it, motherfucker. I have a fucking accountant and a person that like has a SCP for me. Okay, there you go.
I mean, this is truly frightening stuff.
You don't understand it. I, Gray Name, who am really going to the moon with the fucking $10 that I put into the stock market, I understand it.
It really is. Now, good for Musk for not surrendering to it. But if you want to see somebody surrender to it, all you have to do is take a look at the NFL. And here's the thing. The philosophy seems to be, if I admit...
No, I have an accountant that set me up with a fucking... It's like I guess it's a wealth manager. It has to be a wealth manager for the SCP, for the 401k for individuals.
That I am
individual
racist,
401k.
then maybe they will leave me alone. And this is exactly what Roger Goodell, a horrible NFL commissioner, has been doing at the NFL. So, former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores filed a lawsuit this week in Manhattan federal court. We've discussed at length the Brian Flores lawsuit.
Financial
it's
advisor.
It's a terrible lawsuit. It looks like it was written in crayon by a 7-year-old. As a lawyer, I can firmly guarantee you, there's not even an allegation of a violation of law breaking. There isn't. All of the statutes that are cited are not justified. There's no class action because the plaintiffs are not similarly situated. Brian Flores himself has said on open TV that he has no justification for suggesting that any specific incident involving him was motivated by race, rather than maybe by the fact that he hasn't developed the Miami Dolphins quarterback and that his record with the Dolphins kind of sucks. He's not that good a coach.
This is a compilation. Oh, my man's got a compy of like all of the instances where like people have been caught dead to rights, being racist. He's just doing the thing where he's like, well, all of those are actually not really racist. There's no real racism.
Salud, sorry you're sneezy.
Instead, he sued the NFL, and the NFL, because they believe that the publicity is bad, started doing what all these companies, except for Musk, do, and he started self-flagellating. That's exactly what Goodell did. So he issued a memo on Saturday morning to all 32 teams, in which he said we must, quote, acknowledge that the results of their efforts to promote diversity with respect to head coaches have been unacceptable. The efforts have been unacceptable because there aren't enough black coaches. 70% of the players are black. Seems like it's acceptable with regard to the players. And by the way, since when is the player pool the coach pool? I mean, really, this is two separate pools. If you take a look at college coaches, how many of those college coaches were wildly successful players? Many of them are just people who coached high school, and then they coached Division III, and they coached Division I. But no matter, Goodell has to protect.
Wait, where did they start though? Wait, where did they start though? Like before they coached Division III? Is Ben saying that like they? Wait, that's so weird. Did Ben just make the assumption that like people just start coaching? Like they just like did Ben Shapiro just say football coaches famously never play football? Like famously. You know that thing about football coaches, they are never players. Like career coaches are just career coaches. Like they never actually, they like literally fucking, they're like, I love football. I'm going to be a coach. Like I don't watch any football, right? And even I fucking know that that's not true. What the fuck?
Love you, big Hassy Hassle.
That's actually true? No, that's not true, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? It is infinitely less likely to find a football coach that has never played football at any level, whether it be college or whether it be fucking NFL or a professional level. Out of all of the fucking coaches, it's probably the minority. Like it's probably in the margins, the football coaches that have never actually played football. Even fucking assigned coach at birth. Oh no. Yo. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Everybody knows, famously, football coaches are assigned coach at birth. Oh, that's good. So stupid. Oh, see, you can make like trans-related jokes without it being fucking the weird and helicopter. Attack helicopter. Like, it is true though. Assigned cop at birth is true. You know this is phrenology, cop phrenology. I actually, I go to the 11 current NFL head coaches have played in the NFL. All but 2 current NFL head coaches have at least played in college. The remaining 2 coaches played in high school.
Tend obeisance to this ridiculous lawsuit.
For the record, that lawsuit is not ridiculous. Like, maybe you could say it's ridiculous, the assertion that, like, he was paid. Like, he was, like, the fucking owner said that he'll be paid to throw games. But again, like, he's going to get in trouble if he's lying about that, right? Like, so why would he fucking put out a lawsuit like that? And then secondly, the other side of the lawsuit, the racial discrimination charge, is the easiest slam dunk. Like, in a lot of instances, white people love saying, like, I don't know about this. Maybe he was just not good. It's not even about whether he's good or bad. It's literally just lip service. Like, the interview was fake. The other person had already gotten the
love you with HasanAbi and chat.
The job. That interview was bullshit. And he knew going into the interview. He caught them in a fucking lie. Like, you can have a conversation about, like, oh, he got fired for having a winning record. First Dolphins coach with back-to-back winning seasons in 20 years. Like, you can get into the nitty-gritty of that sort of stuff. That's why I'm separating it, right? But it's kind of a fucking slam dunk lawsuit. And the only way that it's going to be quietly handled is because it's a slam dunk lawsuit, and the NFL is just going to fucking pay him hush money, most likely. And then, of course, blacklist him permanently. He's done. He's just never going to have another job, I don't think. Like, you can't make the Kaepernick argument here because, like, we're not talking about, like, he didn't get fired he's not saying he got fired for being black. You know what I mean? Like, with Kaepernick, like, I personally think he got blacklisted for speaking out against Black Lives Matter and, rocking the boat, I guess, right? I personally think that, but then people are like, no, he actually got fired because he didn't get re-signed because he's just not good at quarterback, whatever. Yeah, dude, actually, there's did I say speaking against Black Lives Matter? He's speaking out for Black Lives Matter. Sorry.
Hassle.
But this situation with Brian Flores is pretty open and shut. Like, it's kind of wild. Like, you have to be really fucking racist to just turn around and be like, no, the Brian Flores thing is actually not about racial discrimination. It's like, it's literally an expose on how the Rooney Rule is just bullshit. They literally offered a black man lip service. Not a slam dunk unless absolute proof comes out that he was racially discriminated. He won't win it. The only thing he wins is if it's not thrown out before the money, so owners get jet deposed. What? That's all they care about? There's worse players than Kaepernick, but he just wasn't good enough for teams to tolerate the attention that his activism brought him, which is wrong. Yeah, I mean, they...
Subbin.
What?
Ben Kakbibo.
What is going on? Oh no, I got a new I got a new version of fucking schizo posting on my Twitter timeline. Oh God, please, like, dude, I don't know why I'm a fucking magnet for this shit. Holy fuck. Okay. I just every time I accidentally fucking see my Twitter notifications, it's just like so psychotic. Someone's like, oh, gee.
Goodell's memo is his first reported comments since former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores filed that lawsuit. In the memo, Goodell says the league will reevaluate all policies, guidelines, and initiatives relating to diversity, equity, and inclusion, including as they relate to gender. The league will also retain outside experts to assist in this review. He says racism and any form of discrimination is contrary to the NFL's values. We have made significant efforts to promote diversity and adopted numerous policies and programs, which have produced positive change in many areas. However, we must acknowledge that, particularly with respect to head coaches, the results have been unacceptable. So not unacceptable with regard to special teams coaches or offensive line coaches or D-line coaches, but with results of head coaches, all you have to do is see that there are not enough black head coaches. Now, they're gauging that by percentage of the NFL that is black. Well, why not gauge it by percentage of the American population that's black? Because that looks more proportional. Why aren't there 3% of head coaches who are Asian? Why aren't there 0.5%, 0.3% of the NFL's players who are Jewish? Why not? Anyway, Goodell says, we will reevaluate and examine all policies. We are retaining outside experts. Our goal is simple. Make our efforts and those of the clubs more effective so the real and tangible results will be achieved. Now, here is the hilarious thing. The folks who are using charges of racism as a tool of power,
Pogo.